The AI is like straight garbo. If you get detected, you can literally just run behind a wall, and the AI is like, stop.
I jumped onto a small building, and they were like,
it's Assassin's Creed 1 AI, dude.
the equivalent of just doing this.
Literally, John Cena it, dude. Just start getting like. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm your host for today, Ethan, and as always, I'm joined by my good friends, Kyle and Hunter. Hey, guys, how you doing?
I'm doing just as well.
Yeah, I'm going to carry on the conversation that we were just having. No, manga is terrible, and it's reading backwards.
I feel like... So the only reason I don't go out of my way is just because I'm lazy, but...
No, it's 100% the same reason. It's just
if I actually cared, I'd be like, yeah, like I read a couple of the Zelda manga.
What a nerd. The question about that though,
they have Link talking those.
Do you still have to read it right to left?
I don't remember.
Or do they reverse it for the idiots like me? That...
So I've read it on like a website and I didn't own them, so they might have flipped it for you. I don't remember.
Guess we'll never know. Let us know in the comments, I guess. But
it was a long time ago, okay? I read those when I was in like middle school.
Welcome back to the HGO podcast, where we sometimes talk about games and sometimes apparently start a conversation off the podcast and then carry it on. But hey, welcome back. Where each and every week we come together to talk about everything that we love in the world of games. This week on the show, we're going to talk about Deathloop. Me and Hunter have been playing it. Hunter is getting a collection of games now on his little side shelf. Kyle hasn't played games, so we'll cover the second half of the Nvidia leak thing. We're just going to talk about it. Fun and games. Well, you've been playing Sly, but
yeah,
until
Ethan doesn't want me to talk about that.
Until Kevin's out of that closet, we're not talking about it. And then if not, we've got some other fun things, maybe a few surprises at the end if we have time. So yeah, welcome everybody for another week of HGO. A bit of housekeeping. We have some stuff going up this week. We 100% have a Life is Strange True Colors spoiler cast going up on Friday. It's already recorded. It's already uploaded. So that will 100% be coming out. We also might have the Life is Strange review. It might be a Life is Strange week where we get no views on either of them because everyone's fatigued of Life is Strange. But everything might be going out this week. The review's like halfway done with me writing. I'm hoping to finish the writing up before the weekend's over, and then I've already got the footage, so it's just editing then, which I should hopefully be able to do in the next few days. And hopefully if it is up, it'll be up on Wednesday. So look forward to that. And then other than that, be sure to leave us some reviews on podcast services if you'd be so kind, or go to youtube.com/hotgamesonly and leave us a subscribe while you're there if you want to see the video version. So shall we just get to Deathloop straight away, Hunter? Shall we
Sounds
dive
like a good idea
into this weird video game that is Deathloop? So these are our first impressions. We're still very early on. I've played like 5 hours, I think, of Deathloop. How much have you played, Hunter?
Around about the same. I got a little bit more time in today, but then I had to go do things for a little while, so...
How dare you?
No, it's okay.
I'll forgive you this time.
I'm sure I'll get more time than you again later tonight.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's not my fault that I have to spend my final hours of my Saturday evening recording this podcast with you chuckle fucks, and then I have to go to bed.
If I was a normal person, this would be the final hours of my Saturday, too. But I stay up until... Stupid times.
True.
Stupid o'clock.
But we've both been playing Deathloop. I've played both. You've mainly just played the cult side of it.
Yeah.
I have played both. I went out of my way to go and pwn some noobs online, just for shits and giggles, so that we had both sides of the argument. And I'm gonna phrase this whole thing, because the reason I picked up Deathloop, we were talking last week on the podcast, I was like 50-50 on whether I was picking this up. And the reason I decided to pick this up was because of the critical acclaim and adoration this game came out with. I was expecting it to not do this well. And you got multiple 10s. I think it's on an 88 on OpenCritic now. Is it an 88?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Kyle's going to go and do the double checking. But yeah, I believe
I can't talk about the game. Might as well fact check.
You might as well be the adjudicator.
88.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Kyle.
someone else gets to join Ethan's club there.
Yeah, I know.
95% of critics recommend.
Mm-hmm. But it's got a load of positive praise, so I was like, I'm going to hop in. So I'm going to phrase this in a way that I think we did this with either Returnal or I don't remember what game we might have done it with.
I think you might have done it with Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, I think it is. Is this game overhyped? Because if you can tell, the reason I'm pondering this question is because I'm feeling very 50-50 on it. Not in like, is it a bad game kind of way, but is it like this critical darling that I think everyone thinks it is. So, initial impressions, Hunter. What are you thinking of Deathloop so far?
So, to answer your question, I'm not far. Right now, the game isn't exactly, I was reading things online about people being like, I'm so annoyed that I'm not playing this game right now after they had started it and had to go do something. Like, I'm not there yet. Like, I don't think that the beginning section is all that great, to be honest.
I'll do you one better. The tutorial's fucking shit. I'm not even gonna be, and I will admit, like, once you're out of the tutorial, once you're out of the first hour or two of it, and you're into the delving into Black Reef and picking which areas you want to go at which point, the game gets a lot more interesting. But I will
once you get the LPP, I think is what they call it, with the who is where at what time business. I think that's when it gets more interesting.
Yeah, it's a tiny bit after that, because you then have to go and do another thing where it gives you the ability to keep things, like it allows you to make your builds. But then after that, then you have your freedom. Like the tutorial, but the tutorial is shit. It goes on forever. There is no cutscene. Here's the thing: is I know we've laughed, we've joked about Deathloop having 6 million fucking trailers, and I don't know if they were literally in on it and being like, "Yeah, we've made so many trailers, we're just not going to have this game have an opening." But it was kind of ridiculous how the game just kind of chucked you in. It was like, if I didn't know what Deathloop was, I'd be like, what the fuck is this right now? Like, and not in a good way. I was like, you wake up on a beach, it tells you to walk, you've got this woman in your ear that's making really annoying comments at you, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's just a really bad tutorial, and I don't get why people have kind of just let it be. Like, they've kind of given it a pass because of how good the rest of the game is, but I'm just sitting there going, fuck, it's really bad. Like, Kyle, like, the tutorial will have you going into different areas, because the game's basically 4 areas. There's 4 different levels of there's 4 different sections of the island, right? And essentially they're 4 like individual levels. There's 5 if you include the beach, but I'm not concluding the beach.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking like, but yeah, 4.
But there's 4, and there's 4 times of day. So essentially, in one loop, you visit each of the 4, and you have to, and based on the time of day and when you visit, AI will be in different places. The visionaries, which are the 8 people that you need to assassinate, will be in different places, and you've got to try and work out the pattern. But the whole tutorial for the first hour or 2 is literally going to each of them one by one, literally going to somewhere, pressing square, walking out. Literally just walk in, press the square button, walk out, and they make you do this like how many times, Hunter? Like 5 times?
Yeah, it's like 5 times, because they send you back to the other place like once you've been everywhere, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's this really roundabout way of you go to Colt's apartment, you're like, thing isn't here, sends you through everywhere. Like, it is back at the apartment, but only when I'm at the beginning of the day now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that felt super substantial in between all of that.
No, it was literally get in, get out, and it felt super awful because, like I said, the tutorial, in terms of a storyline perspective, the story wasn't really there. It does kind of pick up and you get the whole 8 visionaries time loop thing eventually, right? But there's nothing like a story bait, or like there's no like cool cutscenes or anything that I thought there'd be. Like, I thought there'd be the whole kind of 60s animation kind of cutscenes kind of from the start, and there are some in there, but they're not there.
Like, they started sprinkling those in later, but it doesn't. Like, I would have liked, like, rather than having the, oh man, I'm hungover on a beach and I don't know what's going on, I would have liked if the dude just gave like a sarcastic and succinct summary as he was waking up in like that animated style.
Like in the trailers where he talks about being stuck in this time loop.
Why is he suddenly not able to remember if he just keeps remembering later?
There's something
That's
about
probably
his
a
memory.
story beat.
Yeah, there's something about every so often he's been through the loop so many times that eventually his mind goes fucking. He basically has a fresh, like a blank start, where his mind just gives up and he forgets everything. And he has to go and start learning everything again.
Oh man, Colt sucks at this game.
Yeah, but it sucks because the tutorial is in and out, no fucking fun. Whenever you pick something up or it tells you something, you get this massive wall of text. The story's all in text, and it fucking sucks, which is a shame because once you get past all that and you get to the visionary shit, and I did my first one where I was trying to work it out, it's fucking excellent. And it was pissing me off because I'm like, I see why people are calling this game like excellent, because it is when you get there. I just don't understand, because these same reviewers will give JRPG shit for having terrible intros and tutorials, but they're letting Deathloop have a pass.
If a game doesn't get me in the first hour, it's not worth my time.
I know, and it's like, let me tell you that the first hour of Deathloop definitely wasn't clicking with me yet. It took longer than that to get out of the tutorial. But when
I've had this game since Tuesday, and it took for me till today to be like, okay, finally.
And I know it sounds like I know it sounds like I'm bitching on the game pretty hard here, but no, when you actually get to the part where the visionaries kind of change in the time of day and where they are, and you've got to actually plan your route out and think, okay, let's try and master all 4 of these levels so that I can get them all in a single loop. That's where the interesting stuff is, and that's where I'm like, oh, that's the interesting concept to me. Is planning the levels out and figuring the levels out. It's not necessarily the gunplay.
This sounds a lot like when you guys way back at the start of the year were talking about Hitman.
Yeah. It's like a murder playground in that sense, where just with an extra element of you gotta make the people go where you need to in the time frame.
It's 100% a massive Hitman puzzle. It's roguelite meets Hitman, essentially. Here's a massive roguelite here's a massive Hitman puzzle where you have 8 targets that you have to kill without dying. And here's some roguelike mechanics where you can keep stuff from different runs, and every time you die you reset to the start, but you keep what you remembered from the last time. Because that's the thing, is Deathloop is one of those things where there's nothing necessarily unique about Deathloop, except for maybe its 60s kind of island setting and the weird kind of design of the enemies. But from a gameplay perspective, all of its ideas are ripped from other games and genres, whether it's quite literally ripping the movement and the gameplay of Dishonored, which is the same studio, Arcane. You can feel Dishonored in there. They have the teleportation little blip that is in Dishonored in this game. A lot of the stealth play and just the way that Colt moves does very much feel like Dishonored. It's just more of an action type version of that. And then, like I say, the visionaries very much feel like a Hitman assassination target. The roguelite aspects, but it very much reminds me of reminds me of Returnal, of how you're kind of trying to figure. It's a story where death is part of the figuring, trying to figure everything out is going through, and in that kind of regard. But it also reminds me of Hades in a way of picking stuff up, where you're not necessarily starting from scratch every time. You are getting advantages and kind of progressing forward. And a lot of it's very fucking excellent. The level design's really good, but
it feels good to play.
Yeah.
I'm not the greatest at the stealth mechanics.
I'm fucking awful.
I've got caught a few times for just stupid things, but luckily I'm good at Doom, so it doesn't matter when I get caught. Because I'm very good at the kill or be killed, people swarming me kind of thing. Anytime someone sees me, it's just machete town.
Yeah, exactly. But no. It very much feels like a bag of concepts from a load of other games that they've kind of shut together and made their own thing with it. And it is super unique. It's just, man, did that tutorial give me the wrong first impression. Because it was, it's so bad. But 2, I think it's also one of those things where critics do this quite a lot, where everyone kind of gives it a massive fucking like a massive explosion of praise, and then I'm like, oh shit, must be the greatest thing ever made. And I play it, and I'm like, no, it's just a very competent video game at what it does.
So what this sort of reminds me of is a couple years ago when everyone was just all about Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah.
This is better than Jedi Fallen Order. I should.
Yeah, I was gonna say to a lesser extent because I feel like this game is better than that was. It's just people pretended 2019 was so starved for something cool that Jedi Fallen Order was the best thing that came out.
I think people are starved of AAA this year. I think that's 100% something that people are starved of, because it's like even if we talk about big first party games, right? Nintendo, everyone's fucking doing a Blue's Clues search for right now because they genuinely have not released anything that isn't like their B tier franchises like WarioWare. I'm not saying B tier in the type of it's shit. I'm talking about smaller scale kind of.
Yeah, like WarioWare's not gonna do the same numbers as Mario or Zelda.
Yeah, they're B team essentially of a roster. Sony, even though they have been releasing things, it's not necessarily your huge AAA experiences. It's Ratchet and Clank, which is very much a 3D platformer, and Returnal, which is by Housemarque, which is a much smaller team, and weren't even technically weren't even PlayStation Studios.
PlayStation Studios until they were purchased later.
And Xbox has Forza and Halo still to come, but the only big release they've had is Psychonauts 2, again, another 3D platformer. So I feel like people have kind of been starved this year of the AAA kind of good AAA video games, I guess. Like these big expensive ones. There's been some good shit like Scarlet Nexus, Strikers, all this like Guilty Gear, the cheaper kind of even anime kind of style stuff, like the Eastern stuff,
the more
not
niche.
the West. The niche, the more niche stuff. Thank you, Cal.
No problem.
But I feel like it's 100% that kind of missing of AAA that is kind of giving it a bit of this explosion of people loving it so much. I do think it's a slight bit overrated. It's very good. It's like, but there's nothing yet. Now, I will say, caveat, I could be coming back next week and going, God, I looked like a fucking idiot. But there's nothing yet out of my first 5 hours after playing like a third of this video game that is screaming to me that this is like 10 out of 10 game of the year contender. Like, I am 100% so far, like, no, I can probably think of 3 or 4 games at least that are higher up, 5 games even, that are probably higher up on my game of the year list. True Colors is one of them. And then even when, like, it's like Ratchet and Clank, probably Psychonauts 2 would also be on there. I'm kind of annoyed that Deathloop has come out and has got critics really buzzed because I was so looking forward to a Game of the Year awards where we'd have Game of the Year nominees be Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank and It Takes Two and all these smaller, more weirder games that you wouldn't usually get some love. So I'm still hoping that happens.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean,
you guys think this is going to be like the big game that people gravitate to in Game Awards this year?
Probably.
Yeah, it's like the only so I compared it to Jedi Fallen Order earlier, and the only reason that didn't happen with that game was because it happened too late.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it would have been.
Sekiro was out in 2019 also, right?
Early 2019, but 2019 was that dry that.
And when I said it happened too late, I meant specifically for like Keeley's awards because Jedi Fallen Order did win a bunch of Game of the Year award outlets at other outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, Sekiro came out and was the, Souls-like thing that was actually from the Souls people.
Yeah, it kind of took its spot. But no, I 100% think that this, and like, don't get me wrong, it's an arcane game, and it's very good, and it's a solid experience. But to me, it's gonna be the game where I respect it, and I hope people enjoy it, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. But when we've had such unique games come out this year, whether it is It Takes Two, which no one expected to be as good as it was, or if it was even stuff like Death's Door, right? That indie game that seemed to have taken a load of people's hearts this year. That is their favorite games of the year. I feel like it's gonna suck when a AAA ass video game comes in and then stomps all of these like cool stuff out.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
But like, even if we want to just compare, time loop games, I had more fun with Returnal in the opening part. Like, if I were to compare the amount of time I had played Returnal at the time to the amount of time I've played this, I liked Returnal more.
I think one of the other problems is with that Hunter is, I don't know what you've been thinking so far. I think this game's too easy already.
Yeah, like I just said a minute ago, getting caught doesn't matter because I literally only have to use my machete.
I don't feel like you need to stealth or do anything at all. I feel like you could easily go guns blazing in all these scenarios. And then if not, Kyle, from the get-go, it's not like Hades where you can unlock Death's Defiances over time and eventually get more chances of life.
They give you the
extra lives in the first 30 minutes, so you always have 3 lives. And those 3 lives reset every time you go to a different area. So that's
you only have to clear the
yeah.
time of day. You don't even have to
So that's two free deaths per area per loop. So that means you can fuck up 8 whole times and still win. And I'm like, that seems too fair.
I was a bit disappointed when it was the extra lives that was the first power you got. I'm like, I feel like you could have given me something cool to actually do things to people with first.
A second machete.
That would be cool if you could just start fucking...
That would be fun.
Like, just reminding me of the Indiana Jones scene with the guy with the 2 swords just going fwa like that.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
But it's like, I should probably talk about the multiplayer. The multiplayer is also very cool, but it's straight ripped. It's literally ripped right out of Dark Souls and Watch Dogs, where you invade someone else's world. It very much is Watch Dogs. Like, it's similar to Dark Souls where you do invading and just try and kill, but it's identical to fucking Watch Dogs where you walk into someone's world and you just fucking beat the shit out of them and then walk away and go, job done, off we go. Like, it's literally the definition of pub stomping. Like, and the thing is, right, is you only get 1 life. Colt still has his remaining, like, you have to kill Colt 3 times, and they only have to kill you once. So you think, oh, Colt's got the advantage, but no, you don't, because people that are playing this game are from all kinds of skill sets. I genuinely walked into someone that was probably either in their 50s and just likes playing video games, or was a literal 8-year-old who was shit at games, because I literally walked in and hid behind a wall and just waited for the guy to walk past, shot him in the back, and then stayed in the same place.
Did you just stay in the same place?
He forgot. He walked past, shot again. Second time, he remembered, but I was like, there's only one other way he's going. He's going the long way around. So I waited behind another wall in a different area, and he walked past that wall, and I shot him. And then I was like, bye, buddy. Good times.
Amazing.
Meanwhile, I would have been the guy who's like, he'd never expect me to go the same way a 3rd time.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Another comment about it being too easy, I went to go kill Igor. That was like one of the last things I did.
Okay.
And he had this area like rigged with mines or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I tripped the lasers. They don't explode until like 3 seconds after you do it, so you can just run through. I
have another problem with that level design in a way. The AI is terrible. I forgot to mention this. The AI is like straight up fucking garbo. This is also, if we take everything else into consideration, I can still kind of understand why people are saying that, like, giving it a 10 out of 10. The AI to me is what fucking breaks it, because if you get detected, you can literally just run behind a wall, and the AI is like, where the fuck are you gone? He's gone.
Or I jumped onto a small building, and they were like,
yeah. It's Assassin's Creed 1 AI, dude, like, genuinely, where it's like, sit on the park bench, and they're like, oh, he must be gone, it's over, we lost him. Definitely not that guy with the hood over there.
It's the equivalent of just doing this.
Yeah, literally. Can't see me. Literally fucking John Cena it, dude. Just start getting... like, can't get me.
Oh, man.
Quite literally. It's so dumb. But the thing is, the AI is so fucking awful. They miss all the time. They're like, the Visionaries AI is also not good, because there was this one I did was this like whole cultist ritual, right, where one of the Visionaries comes out, does this whole cultist ritual of sacrificing someone, and then she kind of stays away. And the whole idea is she's like locked in an area you can't get to. So you have to figure out how to get into her to kill her and then leave. Except if you get caught, she just walks out of the door and just available to kill. So so for me, the correct tactic was fine. I'll just shoot one of your henchmen. That now gets you aggro, and you will just walk out to me, and I can easily kill you and walk away. I've just solved the puzzle myself there without having to do shit. Because you just unlocked the door instead of me finding the other way around. Good to know. And I was just like, the AI could do with some work. That's all I'm saying. Is it's not excellent.
One other minor thing I was running into is the tagging the people when you're like looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
If there are two people standing next to each other, sometimes it's very annoying to get the one that you specifically want.
Yeah.
Like there was a number of times where I tagged somebody and then untagged them because it didn't register that I was trying to look at the person that was like 3 inches to the side of them.
I will give some compliments though. The kind of superpower, like some of the super, like the abilities, the hacking kind of powers that you get, some of them are pretty cool. And some of them
I was having a bunch of fun with like Hack-a-Majig taking control of their turrets and stuff.
That was fun, and then also
taking them with me. Also,
just like the kind of psychokinesis powers are very fun as well. You have the classic power that has been in a load of games before, where you can just lift people up and throw them to the side, or throw them away, or throw them at someone else. Those are always fun. But
good stuff.
One that I had was there was like a linking power, which is kind of cool, where you can kind of link two people together with like a rod, like a telekinesis like kind of thing, but it doesn't work the way you think it is. It's like if you link someone behind a wall or whatever and then link someone that's in your line of sight, if you kill the person or deal damage to that person that's in your line of sight, because they're both linked, they both take the damage. And I was like, that's a really cool kind of idea of chaining people together that you necessarily can't get to, and then having one chaining them to the person that's in your line of sight so you can take them all out really quickly. I was like, that's a really cool power. There's some good that'd
be like a really good one for a stealth game with good AI.
Yeah,
because
I'm really upset with the AI. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Like, imagine like let's say these 3 guards meet in the middle, and you could like link them all together, but then their pattern makes it hard to kill them without being detected under normal circumstances. That'd be a really good power for that kind of thing.
Yeah, like. I kind of wish, like, I know I've been saying on the podcast before that I kind of wish that it was one big roguelite of, like, having the island all be accessible and you've got only a certain amount of time to get all 8 of them and you're trying to figure it all out in one go instead of it being these 4 levels. And I still kind of wish that, but it's, like, there's so many things where I'm, like, it's
it'd be
like
cool if, like, beating the game unlocked a sort of arcadey mode where, like, they're all just there going about their day, but it takes out like the time thing. They're just all on the map and you gotta find them and kill them.
Yeah, I think my main problem with this game is it's a whole like fucking smorgasbord of like ideas and concepts and gameplay mechanics that are all really well done, and there's plenty of things to do and there's plenty of things to keep you entertained. I just wish they had taken one of these concept ideas and just gone all in
further with it.
Yeah, and gone all in instead of just going, oh, it's a stealth game, but it's also an action game where you can play it like Doom, where you can just go around shooting everybody because there's no consequences. And it's also a roguelite, but it's way too easy and you get all the lives from the start. And it's
more like checkpoints. It's less of a roguelike and more of a PS2 game.
And it's also this big Hitman assassination level where you've got to kill all 8 people, but it's separated into 4 levels so you can very easily figure out how to do it and there's no real time pressure. Yeah, and it's like there's a time system where there's 4 different times and everyone's on a path based on those time zones. So you've got to keep to that schedule, but once you're in a level, the time of day doesn't change and you have an infinite amount of time to do it.
A lot of people probably hear this and we're probably thinking something like maybe Majora's Mask, where there's a clock that is actually like moving throughout a cycle. It's not like that. Once you go to an area, that's the time of day that's the area you're in for the time of day, and when you leave, time advances.
I think that's a good idea. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just not necessarily, for me, it's one of those things where I'm like, I see why you're doing this, but then everything else in the game doesn't really add up to it. Like, it's like, okay, you want it like this, but it's like, why is this game so damn fucking easy then? It's like if you're giving everyone 8 lives and 4 checkpoints and all these ways to figure stuff out, why is the game so goddamn easy then? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And it's only going to get easier because you get to keep your loadout and work things out and build yourself up. And I feel like at the end, it's just literally going to be a pub stomp where you literally you're just basically going in like a fucking, you're going in like John Wick, and you're literally just going to go in and just start going bang, 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 fucking.
Pull my devil trigger.
Yeah. Literally just going all out, going like with no fear of anything happening. And that's kind of my concern.
Yeah.
But there's definitely potential there, and it's like I say, I feel like I'm being harsh on the game because all I've heard is adoration, right? And I'm just like, to me, I'm like, this is a solid game, but it's not my favorite game I've played this year.
Yeah.
It's like we don't give numbers, and I'm not reviewing this game anyway. But if I was to give, like, so far, it's like a solid 8. Like to me, this screams like an 8.
Yeah.
The AI is pretty shit, and it might drop to a 7 if I get really annoyed at it by the end. But it's like, God, my one. If there's one thing that I want Arcane to take from this game, and if you listen through the praise for this one critique, please make better AI for the like please figure it out. I didn't
play the Dishonored game, so I have to imagine the AI was probably pretty good in those,
I've played a bit of Dishonored 1, and I liked what I played, and the AI wasn't like this. That's what I remember getting caught in Dishonored 1 and feeling like, oh shit, level run over, I need to restart because they all know where I am and it's all gone to shit. Whereas in Deathloop, it's like, you get caught, it's like, quickly, where's my nearest wall? I can hide and...
Now I'm gone forever.
And who knows? Maybe there are parts at the end where if you do get caught, the whole area now knows that you're there, and maybe who knows?
Maybe it is just taking its time, getting harder to ease you in. Who knows?
But hey, if you guys been playing Deathloop, let us know. Either in the comment section if you're on the YouTube video, or tweet us at HotGamersOnly. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are. Are we just being too harsh? Are we being too nitpicky? Let us know what you're thinking. We'd love to hear from you. Because I'd love to hear some opinions that aren't just people that are giving it praise for it being an arcane game. Like, I want to hear from people that haven't played arcane games before. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Because it's like me playing. It's like me playing. Yeah, it's like me playing Persona, like the next Persona game. What are you expecting from me? Of course, I'm gonna fucking wank off Atlas and be like, yeah, fucking brilliant. Because it's like, it's like I'd like to hear from people that are not...
Well, either that or you'll be like, it's not Persona 5, so it sucks.
No, that'll be Twitter.
That's the true Persona fan move.
Yeah, true, actually. I'm wrong. But hey, there you go. You're okay, Kyle, now. You're free. No more Deathloop talk. We'll move on to something that you can partake in.
I went on for 10 minutes longer than you thought it would have.
It was the AI. It was the AI. As soon as I remember that the AI was terrible, I'm like, we've got some fuel. But no, I'm liking it. I feel like I was being harsh, but it's still a good game. It's still.
I don't know. I feel like AI in a stealth-based game is kind of a hard thing to get right, because I've been playing Sly 2, and the AI is also pretty dumb in that. It's very hit or miss if they want to do something good or not.
Yeah,
but granted, that's a
off of the
PS2 game from 2003.
Off of the little bit of Hitman I played, the AI in that was pretty good. Like, if I got caught, I got like mollywopped without remorse.
Yeah, but Hitman is also the kind of game where I personally am the kind of person that's making saves after I've successfully done everything, because I'm like, I don't want to get caught and have this all go to shit. I'm like, I don't want to lose 35 minutes of this assassination attempt. I'm saving. Which it would kind of be hard for them to do in Deathloop.
I imagine like Metal Gear Solid's AI wasn't the greatest thing, but it did the job. They'd walk around on their little paths. If you did stuff, they'd interact with it, and you know, yeah.
I don't know, like. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not exceptional AI. It's not like
Okay, so the fact that it's a stealth game and the bodies disappear is something that I forgot to mention. But
Wait,
that's weird to me.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the bodies disappear, so you won't,
But there
you
is a
won't
smoke
alert
trail.
anybody
No, there is a
unless
smoke.
you...
Yeah, there's a smoke. They say in the tutorial, it's really badly worded. The body disappears, but they leave like this smoky kind of thing on the ground, and the guards still can see it. So it's more fucking you over because you don't remember where you've left bodies because you can't really notice the smoke as much, but the enemies can.
Okay, I feel like I didn't read that for sure. I just glossed over that, but I feel like the smoke trail went unnoticed by anybody who didn't watch me shoot their friend.
Yeah, and it worked in practice. It works in the tutorial, and it works if you're shooting people on the ground, right? If you shot someone, but for most of the enemies are in weird places or on their own, so it's like it's never gonna come to anything.
Yeah.
No one does patrols. They all stay in the same locations. I've not noticed any local patrols or anything like that so far.
Yeah, it is weird.
Very weird. But anyway, enough Deathloop for now. We'll move on to our other story, which is we really went to the bottom of the barrel because we spent an hour trying to figure out what else to talk
You
about.
know what would have been a funny bit to do is act like we were just going to start talking about it from the beginning again because it's a time loop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should have done that. So one of the big pieces of news that happened this past week was the whole Nvidia leak, which none of us knew about because we're really bad at doing our job at researching gaming news for a gaming podcast. I've been busy this week. It's fine though. So essentially,
I didn't even hear about this until an hour ago.
So essentially, there was this big Nvidia G-Force Now database leak, which was a leak of a load of games that Nvidia had put on their systems, which is essentially games that either they think might be coming out, or games that they predicted to come out, or games that they heard of that might have got cancelled and stuff like that. So there's a load of interesting ones. Hunter did a very kind thing of sending me a list of all of the stuff. That is, if I have it, can I find it? Did I close the tab? I hope I didn't close the tab. Hunter, I may have closed the tab.
Oh my
Just
god.
go back to the Discord message.
I can't because
he's recording Discord.
Oh, right.
Remember how we record the podcast, Hunter?
Hang on, I'll
Hey,
find
man,
it
I'm not a
again.
scientist.
We'll find it again. It's fine.
Do you have a recently closed thing that you could go to?
That'd be smart. I have. Do you know
Yahtzee.
what we'll do is we'll talk about. I've got a list. Oh, I've got it. We got it. It's fine. Right. So
good. We're
basically, we thought it'd be fun that we talk about all the games that appeared on there, and we're essentially going to talk about how we feel about this, and how it's going to go, and if we will, if we believe it's real, and where do you think all of this came from? So we'll go one by one. We just thought it'd be fun. It's all fun and games. I've also got the highlights list as well. So here's the first one, right? So Sony, we're doing this by developer, right? So Sony, the first one is something that was confirmed fairly recently. When was the PlayStation show? The PlayStation guys we've already talked about, so it was after this. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Edition, right? We already knew about it. That was that one. Helldivers 2. Now this is the interesting one because there's a Helldivers Easter egg. We talked about it last week on the podcast in the PlayStation Player Has No Limits trailer, which was teasing everything. And as I said to you in the pre-show, Hunter, there's no way in hell that anyone would have ever guessed or like pretended fake rumor that Helldivers would get a sequel. So
yeah, that'd be a weird pull. Like, I forgot that was like an exclusive or whatever. Anyhow.
So to me, this kind of leads to this being more legitimate than it could have initially been, because there's no way in hell people would have guessed Helldivers 2.
There's not. It's a weird pull for it to be fake, is the thing.
I should also mention, even though this only has been found this week, this database leak has been this database thing has been around for ages, and it was not updated. Essentially, this list was available before the PlayStation Showcase. I should specify this. Even though it's only just been found, this vulnerability has been around for a while. So it's not like someone just added Helldivers 2 in for shits and giggles like 4 days ago, and everyone's like, it must be real. Horizon Forbidden West. Would anyone be shocked if that game comes in like 3 years? to PC.
It seems like that's what they'll probably do.
Yeah. Gran Turismo 7 is also on there. I think that's an interesting one. I wouldn't have guessed that Gran Turismo would come over, actually.
Yeah, it seems like a weird one to throw on PC since it's supposed to be like the graphical showcase for your own console.
Mm-hmm.
But, whatever.
Yeah. Deracine, I don't know what that is. Should I look that up?
Deracine.
Let me look it up. It was a game for PlayStation VR from 2018. Would not be shocked.
Oh. I wouldn't be shocked.
Here's an interesting one. Might make some people cry. God of War. I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably right before Ragnarok is supposed to come out, like a month or so beforehand.
I would safely put money on this that after the Legacy of Thieves collection, that God of War is the next PlayStation Studios game to get moved to PC. I would happily put money on that. That's interesting. A lot of these are on the databases, I think, because Sony is planning on doing PC versions of these, even if it's not for years. Like for Forbidden West, I don't think we'll see a PC version. For
I don't think their play seems to be release the PC version to get more people interested in the upcoming game.
This is another one that I don't think we'll see for a while, but I can 100% see it happening. Returnal.
Oh yeah,
100%. I can see that coming to PC at some point. Another one, again, I can also see this coming to PC. Demon Souls. I can 100% see them doing that.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. Ratchet and Clank is on there. No specified game, though. So they don't know if this is the new one Rift Apart or if it was 2016.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they were like, all right, let's go with 2016, because we've given it away at every possible opportunity on our own console.
At this point, they just keep shucking that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Plus game. It's been available for free without Plus like 3 times, I think.
Even I have it, and I've never played a Ratchet game before.
Oh, don't play that one.
Don't worry, I have the PS2 one over there.
Yeah, play that
one.
one.
The first one.
Literally just play any other game.
Ethan, those are my only 2 options.
Yeah, play the original. Because, like, don't get me wrong, Ratchet and Clank...
Play Rift Apart.
Oh, yeah, play Rift Apart when Rift Apart comes out. But Ratchet and Clank 26, when you get a PS5 in the year 2024, when they're available.
Comes out.
I was like, when Rift Apart comes out, I'm like, shit, that game came out.
It was funny that you said that, because I specifically said it because you can't find a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have the fucking Seto Kaiba jacket machine to play the game with.
Truly tragic.
I also, like, a couple weeks ago, I saw one of a PS5 in a Best Buy, and that thing's fucking massive. I never actually seen one in person.
Wait,
they're
Best Buy
huge.
had one?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I mean, they had a display. They had it on display.
Yeah,
surprised someone hasn't tried.
Fingered it.
Like, that thing is. It's a big boy.
It is a chungus.
It is a big boy. But no, both Ratchet and Clank and Sackboy are big adventure on here, which I think are interesting because I would have put money on them keeping the 3D platformers as a console exclusives. And I'm not saying that because they're system sellers, they're iconic. I'm just like, those to me seem like the kind of games that are for like the console market in general. Like it's like when Crash, like the Crash games, NST came out. They sold really well on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, and the only people that really bought the PC version were some PC players, but mostly double dippers that were like, I'm a speedrunner, I need to play the PC version. Truly tragic. So I don't know, those are interesting ones, but I can see it happening. And then here's another one. With fucking Ghost of Tsushima, of course that's going to show up on PC as well.
Yeah, as soon as Ghost of Tsushima is about to come out, they're going to put that one up.
Mm-hmm. I like this list. It tells you what didn't show up. So no Bloodborne, which is interesting. I'm 100% of the belief that we'll get a Bloodborne PS5 patch. I think that'll happen one day. I think that it'll be from the goodwill of Sony.
Will it be the fabled 60 FPS patch that people have been
No, it'll still be 30. No, of course.
Years?
Yeah, it will.
They give you ray tracing, but no frame rate.
I would not be shocked that if one day Sony brings Bloodborne to PC. I would not be surprised.
Wow, I wouldn't be shocked if they did eventually. Yeah.
Because the Souls games are so popular on PC, and Sony knows that is just a thick paycheck that is just waiting to happen one day. That they know that when they release Bloodborne on Steam,
I would like to see that happen just so I could see like the eventual texture mods of making it look nicer, and I can see what the monsters are actually supposed to look like.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like just in general, I think, it would just look nicer in general because the PS4 is a bit underpowered. No Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man's never going off the PlayStation, to be honest. I think that'll forever be. I think that, and there's another one here that I think will always be Sony's baby that they're just never going to want to let go of.
What's the other one?
The Last of Us.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
I think they'd be perfectly happy moving Uncharted over, but I think Last of Us is like... I'd be shocked if Last of Us does get ported to PC, to be honest. I mean, I can see them maybe doing it for the TV show, but to me, like, The Last of Us is that kind of, like, blockbuster darling thing that I just think they would never be like... They'd be like, nah, fuck off, we're keeping that one.
Yeah, it's ours.
Yeah. No Last Guardian, or Gravity Rush. I wish Gravity Rush got more love, dude. I wish Gravity Rush got more love.
The thing there is I don't think that they'd expect a whole lot of people to care about either of those. Like, I think there'd be a better chance of the remake of Shadow of the Colossus getting a port than Last Guardian.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is interesting. Moving on to Microsoft, right? So Microsoft has some games. Gears of War 6. Shocker of the century, another Gears of War game. But here's the thing that makes this seem even more believable. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. They had 3 games that were called Project Holland, Project Typhoon, and Project Woodstock, which a leaker slash video game reporter has confirmed that these are the code names for Fable, Contraband, and the new Forza game, which weren't that no one's shared those outside of like people that have the knowledge. So
those Contraband was that one CG trailer.
Oh, the really shitty one, yeah, that one. Like,
yeah, it was like a little munitions.
Of a munitions crate,
warehouse.
A fucking wooden box. They like spent $100,000 on doing a CGI trailer of a wooden fucking crate.
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, Fable, Contraband, and Forza. I think that's interesting that the project names are on there, not the actual names, which kind of again leads to
which one is which? Does it say? I'm
Project
curious.
Holland is Fable. Mm-hmm. Project Typhoon is Contraband, and Project Woodstock is Forza.
Interesting.
Forza one isn't 100%, but Holland is definitely what they're calling Fable, and Typhoon is 100% what they're calling Contraband. Untitled, the initiative game. No title, just Untitled initiative game.
I hope that's what it comes out as.
Yeah. It's the sequel to Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah. Exactly.
Halo 5 Guardians is the only Halo game not to have a PC port. So there you go. Avowed, better Skyrim being made by Obsidian. Kalimba, which I don't know what that is. Indus, which I have no clue what that is. And Gravity, have no clue what that is either. But there you go. Now, finally, Kyle. It's Kyle time.
Oh, goody.
Are you ready for some Squeenix, Kyle?
I'm looking at the list and it is getting me to feel things.
First one, Kyle. I'm just going straight to Kyle for these. I want Kyle's takes on all of these. Chrono Cross Remaster.
I, as personally, big Chrono fan, played both games, love both games. Square only made 2 games because Square Enix hates you. I would love to see that game get remastered, but I don't know who else would want that.
I 100% see this happening.
Imagine
imagine
Chrono Cross getting remastered and a bunch of angry Chrono Trigger only fans being like, you'll do this, but it's been forever since you've done something with the one that we like.
All they get is an ugly Steam port that doesn't work half the time.
Yeah.
This is why I 100% think is when it says remaster, like the two of these are remasters, I 100% think that these are going to be not in the way you'd want them to be remasters. I think they'll 100% be.
I imagine it's close to like
Square
the
Enix
Final
remaster.
the Final
made for
Fantasy
mobile.
games on the PS4 kind of thing.
Yeah, like
where
made
it's
for
like,
mobile, made for consoles, haphazardly, port of the ROM
remaster,
onto
whatever
pixel
that
remasters.
means.
Yeah.
And then here's
I mean,
another
I'd love
one,
to
yeah.
see it. I'd love to see Chrono Cross remaster, but I am on the fence about it even existing. Because Chrono Cross already wasn't the most popular game.
You see, I think if they are doing one of these pixel remasters where it's just the fucking same ROM, just that they're just upscaling and doing all that stuff, I see Square doing this because I feel like, and no offense to Chrono Cross, but I feel like Square is hitting that point now where they're running out of old shit to easily put on a new console to just fucking make money. And I feel like it's getting to the point where Chrono Cross is in that stage where they're probably looking at it and they're like, yeah, there's enough weebs that like this.
They already pulled like the last remnant for remaster last year, and that game was just this random like PS3 generation, not Final Fantasy, but Square Enix game.
Yeah. I think it's more likely than you think, Kyle. And then there's obviously Final Fantasy Tactics remastered. I think this is they've literally remastered every other fucking Final Fantasy game at this point. It's on modern consoles.
Yeah.
If this leak didn't happen, I feel like this would happen regardless.
Like, a Tactics remaster would be so good, because Tactics is fantastic.
Fantastic.
War of the Lions, great game. Just streamline the job system and make it less grindy, and you've got like the perfect Tactics game.
Yeah.
Because that's why I don't replay the game. It's way too freaking grindy. It's awful, but it's so good. The story's so good.
At least if it has like a speed up button or something like that, at least you've got like,
It's like if it's anything like these other old Final Fantasy games, they'll have like the hit them for $99.99.
Oh yeah.
So fingers crossed. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I feel
duh.
we're waiting for this at this point. Because we already thought we'd have it on PC by now. But Sony pressed the extend exclusivity button by taking Integrate as well. So I would not be so shocked. This one's interesting. And Final Fantasy IX Remake. I am wondering if this is if this is just remasters again that they got confused by, because I don't see them doing a 9 remake at the same time as 7.
Not until 7 is done, which is like, when we're dead. So
this is the first. This is the first one where I'm pressing X to doubt. This is my first X to doubt.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if after they finished 7, 9 was one they chose, because 9. It's
also a fan favorite.
Fans, yeah. Like
all of us FF8 fans crying in the corner.
Yeah, stay crying.
It's fine.
8 is the Xenoblade X of the Final Fantasy world, dude. Like, just stay crying.
PS1 trilogy.
Yeah. Next one, again, obvious that this was coming to PC. Final Fantasy 16. It was already confirmed for PC, so that's no shock.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider Anniversary 2021. I don't know what that is. Is that a remake of Tomb Raider Anniversary? If so,
was Tomb Raider Anniversary the one that like stuck all of the like a bunch of the older ones together?
Let's have a look. Tomb Raider Anniversary is no, it's not. It's not a collection. It's a new game. It was a new game.
No, was it?
Yeah, rebuilt the gameplay and levels. Wait, what? Okay, I'm trying to. Taking place in the continuity. Anniversary follows the No, it is. It was a game that they released for the anniversary of Lara Croft, but was a new game, I think. So it must be a remake of that game, I assume.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. It's been a while since we've had Tomb Raider. I think the last one was 19 or 18, so it would make sense. And then fucking here we go. Final one from Kingdom Hearts 4.
You skipped over unannounced title by Square Enix.
It's
my favorite game.
It's probably Forspoken or something. It's probably just the PC version of Forspoken. Let's be real.
Probably.
Kingdom Hearts 4.
I mean, when it comes out, I wouldn't be shocked if it got a PS.
I've been thinking.
PC port.
I remember Nomura saying that after Kingdom Hearts 3, there would be 2 spin-offs and then the next main entry. And we've already had the 2 spin-offs because we had Dark Road and then we had Melody of Memory. So I would not be shocked
Does
if
Dark
Kingdom
Road count?
Yes,
What's Dark
yes,
Road?
because they did the JPEG where they had the
Is
2
that
blank.
the-
Yeah, they
is
had the
that the
2 question
stupid
mark
phone
spots.
game?
Yeah, they had the 2 question mark spots, and then they had like the next next main quote unquote entry, and the mobile game did count as one of them.
I thought Dark Road was just like the final chapter of the mobile game.
No, it was a completely separate mobile game, and then they cancelled both of them at the same time.
God, they're
Yeah,
so
What the
stupid.
fuck is
They were
Kingdom
part-
Hearts?
they were
Dude,
they were part
Is
of the
this what it feels like to just be a passive observer of Kingdom Hearts?
Do you know what's-
Like, I
you know
can't-
My brain hurts.
you know what's the
I
best?
imagine I wouldn't be shocked if one day it was like we're gonna do a couple of spin-offs and then the main one, and one of the spin-offs is like a trading card game.
Yeah. This is the funny part, Carl, was, they were 2 separate games with 2 separate stories, but they were both in the same app.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were both in the same app, and when you got on the main
What?
screen, you swapped between the 2 games. And nothing carried over, and they were completely different. Yeah.
Why is Kingdom Hearts?
Mm-hmm.
I hate them so much.
But yeah, so that
Why
was the
is
first one.
Kingdom Hearts?
A Melody
to
of
the
Memory.
ground.
A Melody of Memory, the second one. So I would not be surprised if Kingdom Hearts 4 is next. I think the days of having 13 fucking spin-offs before a main entry are over. And I think that's 100% because of Disney literally saw the money of Kingdom Hearts 3 and is probably like, no, for fuck's sake, you're making another one of these bastards. I'm not waiting 12 years for the damn revenue to come in. So, I guess the question is, Kyle, when do you think we'll see Verum Rex or Kingdom Hearts 4, whenever this is? If you place a bet, how long do you think we're waiting for another Kingdom Hearts at this point?
I think we'll see a trailer by the end of 2022.
I'd agree with that. Isn't it the 20th anniversary next year?
I have no freaking clue, dude.
Let's have a look.
Didn't it come out in 2002?
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts, 2002. Yeah, it's the 20th anniversary next year. They're definitely showing the next Kingdom Hearts at that point. So yeah, that's a good sign. Anyway, moving on to Capcom. Time for Hunter to. Thank you, Kyle, for partaking in the podcast. It's back to Hunter now. Resident Evil 4 remake. We knew this is happening.
Yeah, it's happening. It's going to be the next Resident Evil thing, I have to imagine. Probably Capcom's next big beat.
When do you think this is coming out?
Dude, I don't want it to be next year, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was one of those things. I want at least a year pause between Resident Evil games going forward, but, you know, I would be shocked
I
if it was
agree,
2022.
because here's the thing, right, is Resident Evil is on a streak right now where they have been making excellent games, and they haven't really dropped the ball on any of these since 7. But I feel like it's getting to the point now where, one, there'll start to be a bit of fatigue coming into the franchise. But 2, the longer they keep
They're running
this
out
up,
of good ones.
yeah, the longer
Yeah, they're coming up to the ones where they dropped the ball.
Yeah,
unless they like uprooted and completely
they're
changed
literally
5 and 6.
they're literally gonna have to do Resident Evil 5 and 6 redo, not remake, where they fucking just take it back to the drawing board and go, right, well, let's make a competent game this time. What are we doing?
Okay, but keep Chris Redfield punching a boulder in a volcano.
Oh, that's
That
so
shit's
funny.
iconic.
That's so funny.
Hunter, don't you stare off in disappointment.
That
That
was
shit
so
is
funny.
iconic.
It's fucking hilarious.
I wouldn't be upset at all if Chris Redfield was like. I've been saying this since I beat the remake of 3 that it'd be cool if they just went a completely different direction from how the original versions of the game went. Like, and people like 4 too much, so I don't know if they're going to be doing that.
No,
But
5 and 6. If they ever do anything,
if
with
they
5 and
straight
6
up just
again, they'll
change
straight
5, if Chris isn't in it, I wouldn't be upset.
No,
just
you
make it Sheva's story.
God,
No, you could get rid of Sheva too. Make it Albert
Wesker's
Wesker's story. Yeah, he was the best part of the game.
just keep the boulder
Jake
in.
doesn't have to happen.
Yeah. Keep the Wesker fight in where you have to literally fire 6 million rockets at him from a rocket launcher to kill him. Like, keep that fight in, because that isn't tedious as fuck. And then there you go, we got a video game. But no, the Capcom leak, sad to say, is some very obvious shit. Street Fighter 6. I feel like Street Fighter 5 has been out for 7 years at this point. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
It
time
just
to
got
see
its
what-
last DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, then that means it's coming out in like 6 months then, because that's usually how Street Fighter games work. Because they go right end of development, and then 6 months later they're like, here's the new one, and here's the new season pass. Like,
I mean, I don't know. They made like 16 versions of Street Fighter 2, so
Yeah, that was before DLCs were a thing.
yeah. But no, I would not be surprised if Street Fighter 6 comes out.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is an interesting one here, because Dragon's Dogma has the same director, it's Itsuno, as the DMC games, and he's wanted to make another one of those for a while. So it'd be cool if he got to do that. I never actually played Dragon's Dogma, but...
And we're back after my internet partially died. That was really fun. It was so fucking stupid, dude. I could watch Bob Ross on Twitch, but Twitter didn't work. Like, what was that? Like, garbage. Yeah. Anyway, we're not done with our list. What were we on? We were on Dragon's Dogma.
Capcom, yeah. Dragon's Dogma.
What I was trying to say was, I wouldn't be surprised with how successful DMC5 has been if they were just letting him have more like creative input.
I wouldn't be shocked if that gave him the goodwill to go do something else that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it may necessarily not be like the financial thing that they're searching for.
100%.
And plus, DMC5 had a good enough ending to where I feel like people will be satisfied if he just moved on to something else for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a franchise that they want to start doing a Resident Evil with, so...
Yeah.
Dude, that would get old even quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I love the series, but if I started getting yearly released Devil May Cry games, I'd be like, please stop.
Yeah, I feel that. And then the final one, Monster Hunter 6. I didn't realise that Monster Hunter World was for Monster Hunter 5, so...
Which one is... What does Rise count as?
No, Rise is a spin-off. World is the class is the 5th one.
We were talking about this while your internet died. I was like, I didn't realize they were on 6.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
They class... Yeah, because... The number, apparently, the number on Monster Hunter, this is their bullshit excuse. This is like Kingdom Hearts logic. Doesn't stand for the number, the entry number. It stands for the generation of Monster Hunter. So the 5th generation of Monster Hunter was Monster Hunter World, Hunter World Iceborne, and Rise. So technically started with World.
Press X to doubt.
Yeah, that's...
Counting is hard.
Yeah. But there you go. That's apparently how they count it, is the generations, not the thing. But yeah, so Generation 6, that doesn't surprise me. Especially with how, like I say, how old World is. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to make another game for PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Or Switch. Who knows? Take-Two Interactive. The GTA remasters are on here. These are all people. This has already been rumored. I don't think anyone's shocked. BioShock RTX remaster. Fuck me. That's basically just BioShock with ray tracing.
Oh man, I can't wait to watch all the lights just bounce off of the water.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
That'll be fun.
And then BioShock 2022. I think the interesting part about this is I didn't think anyone...
That it has a specific year.
Yeah, I don't think that game was dated, so...
I would expect BioShock 4 to be what that would say rather than...
Yeah, 2022. Well, if the internal name of it is BioShock 2022, then I think we have an idea for what window they were trying to hit, at least. They might not make it, but...
It's, we'll see. Maybe we'll see a trailer.
It's been in development for so long, though, that I wouldn't be surprised if it was a next year release. It's been in development since, like, 2018, 2017, so...
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. EA, everyone's favourite developer. Why the fuck isn't FIFA 23 and 24 and 25 on here? Why... Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they're stopping making FIFA games. One can dream.
Nah.
Mirror's Edge RTX remaster. As stupid as RTX is, dude. If Mirror's Edge remaster, I'll take it. I'll take a Mirror's Edge remaster. Mirror's Edge is sick. And then, funny enough, the other two are Respawn games.
Untitled Respawn game.
Untitled Respawn game.
Goose Game.
If I was to take a bet, if I was a betting man, my guess is that's Jedi Fallen Order 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Titanfall 3 doesn't surprise me. With how well Apex has done, I wouldn't be surprised if EA's willing to give them another shot at not destroying Titanfall 2 by sending it out to die.
Yeah, maybe they'll release it at a point in time that's actually advantageous for it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, all unbelievable to me. Bandai Namco, Tekken 8.
Tekken 7's been out forever, so that's not shocking. Bit of a bummer that there's no like Soul Calibur 7 on there too. But
Curved Human Fall Flat 2. I think I've heard of Fall Flat 1.
Human Fall Flat it looks kind of like Gang Beasts, except it's a platformer.
Oh, cool.
Is the way I describe it.
Oh. Yeah. It was made in 2016. It was 2016, so that wouldn't surprise me. Talos Principle 2, that doesn't surprise me from Devolver. Crysis 4 is surprising, because I swear Crysis 3 was like 2013, so it's been a while since a Crysis game.
Crysis was dead.
Earth Defense Force, whatever. This is what's fucking weird, right? Here's the weird one, right? Why the fuck is Bayonetta 3 on here and listed under Sega? That's weird.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, Bayonetta isn't it like Nintendo's IP now? At least going forward.
Sega. No, Platinum. I believe Platinum has the IP.
Okay,
Sega's the publisher.
But Sega's the
Sega was the publisher of the first one.
First game. They own the rights to the first game. Still, Sega owns the rights to the first game. Nintendo owns the rights to the second game, and supposedly the third game. But what if Sega is co-funding it, and that's coming, and now it's coming to PC as well?
Oh, maybe that's why it's taken so long.
Wouldn't surprise me, but I thought Bayonetta 3 being on here is very interesting. Judgment is also on there, which isn't Judgment. Was Judgment not on PC?
Seems weird that it's not.
Judgment game. If it is, then no, PS4, PS5, Stadia, and Xbox Series XS. Oh,
Stadia.
Hell yeah, we all love Stadia. Lost Judgment isn't coming either, so that's interesting. Then on to Atlas, everyone's favourite cock tease that doesn't want anyone to be happy. Catherine Full Body. Not a shocker. The original Catherine is on PC, right? So
yeah.
This one's fucking Shin Megami Tensei 5. That wouldn't shock me.
No, me either.
Nocturne was on PC, and as far as I can tell, Nintendo isn't paying for Shin Megami Tensei 5. They're just either they've paid for console exclusivity or it's just a console exclusive.
Yeah,
they're not paying for it.
They're weird about that.
And then the person put in brackets no Persona 5, which I think is just funny.
It's very funny.
If SMT5 does come to PC before another Persona game, I will think that's hilarious, to be honest. And fair play. Then a couple more. WB Batman Arkham Knight remaster. That wouldn't shock me, to be honest.
Hopefully it works better than the first one.
Yeah. Also, like Arkham Knight still is one of the best looking games on PS4, and it was a pretty early PS4 game, so
yeah.
Could be an interesting one. And then Valve Half-Life 2 remastered. Wow. I feel like that's an interesting one. But hey. And then Paradox Interactive as an FPS game.
It would be a pretty Valve move, I feel like, to just remaster your games before you make your before ever making a 3.
And then finally, we've got some ones that are on here, but may just be stuff that has just been left in by accident. XCOM 3, Injustice 3. Injustice 2 was ages ago, right? I feel like that one could happen.
I want to say it was like 2018, maybe?
Yeah, it could happen. MGS 2 and 3, they say they put in brackets no shot, in my opinion.
So it's one of those things where MGS 2 and 3 HD it genuinely came out in late 2011. So if it was going to get a PC port, I feel like it would have happened already.
Yeah, it's probably just something. Mario and Rabbids, that ain't happening.
No.
Death Stranding Director's Cut PC, I can see that happening 100%.
Yeah, I would understand that.
Sniper Elite 5 and City Skylines 2, can see that was happening. And then they've got some games that were PM'd that I will compile. These are things that must have also been on here. I'm just gonna read the interesting ones. Payday 3, that game's been announced for 8 fucking years, I think. Payday 2 was like 2012, so yeah. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel for PC, please, for the love of God, like release that game with 60 FPS somewhere, for the love of everything. The fact that game is still only on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, and is at fucking 30 FPS, please unlock that, bring it back. Mars listed on Steam, which is the PSVR game. That's pretty interesting. Modern Warfare 3 remastered. It's probably the campaign again. Goat Simulator 2. Fucking hell. It feels like it's been way too long for them to pull a meme like that again with Goat Simulator 2. But there you go. New Worms game. And Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order, which I can see happening.
Yeah. Oh man, Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, dude, another release of Street Fighter 2.
Oh, fuck, I forgot. The most important one.
The 17th re-release of Street Fighter 2.
Cheers to that one.
Yeah.
But no. So reading all... So here's the thing, right? We should specify that Nvidia said that this was test data and not necessarily legit. They were basically trying to say, we're just kidding, you know? It's just a funny little thing. How likely do you think that this has some legitimacy to it?
I feel like there's some legitimacy to this. Like we were saying at the beginning, some of these are too weird to be...
They're too
fake.
Specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you were going to do a fake list of PlayStation games coming to PC, you would 100% would have put Bloodborne on there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have put fucking Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Like, it just, and Helldivers 2. Those kinds of things you just don't see. I 100% think that there's some kind of data here. Now, I'm not saying that it's all confirmed. Like, I think some of this stuff is like metadata, like, for example, Forbidden West. I don't think they're making a PC version. I just think...
Yeah, that's probably for the...
Dev
in
stuff.
the event that they keep the pattern of PlayStation's PC porting.
Yeah. Or some of it is just like from dev testing and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I think there's a lot of stuff here. I'm looking at Kingdom Hearts 4 and going, God, no, please don't bring it back.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, we still need a couple of years off. Like, but hey.
Yeah.
Dude, this time without Kingdom Hearts has been fantastic.
It's been pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a nice break. I have a feeling 2022 is going to break it, though. And make
Ethan
me sad.
says as he only got into the series like a month before 3 came out.
No, I did own Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 since 2017. I did try. I just blasted through the games 4 months before they came out. I started in August of 2018. So
Ethan's played more Kingdom Hearts games than I have.
I've played every main installment of them except for the ones that have movie substitutes. I played the movies. I watched the movie substitutes for.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'm afraid I haven't played Recoded in 358, but
I think you'll survive.
I played everything else.
No, that means you're not a true Kingdom Hearts fan.
I played the mobile game for like 2 minutes and went, "This is shit."
Hey, me too.
It.
Same.
High five! Woo! Let's go!
Yeah,
we did it. But yeah, I think that's I don't know why we did not even know this leak happened because it was quite a big topic. But hey, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is just kind of like, while it is a big list, none of these are like big megaton announcements hidden in there.
Yeah, it's nothing groundbreaking.
And yeah, like the big things that you would...
Like, I'm not looking at anything here and be like, man, I wish that was a surprise for a conference.
Mm. Yeah. It's not like you're sitting here and you've got like the new Sly game just hidden in the fucking metadata or whatever.
Yeah, hidden in the Nvidia closet.
Sorry, Kevin, you're staying in there. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that we missed that... No, there was also another Lord of the Rings game in there called Fight for Middle-earth or whatever, but who gives a toss?
Oh, man.
Tolkien nerds, am I right? What a bunch of losers.
Bunch of dorks.
Your movies are way too long.
I want to.
Yeah.
I try to.
Please shorten them.
Yeah, like
I saw
would
them
love
once
to.
when I was a kid, and I don't have 9 hours to dedicate to watching a series of 3 movies.
Yeah, you see, I
I
watched
watched them with friends in college, and I'm like, this is way too much for my attention span right now.
Yeah, you see, I watched them when I was a kid, and it put me off them because I was like forced to watch them. I feel like if I gave them a fair shot now, I'd probably like them more than I do. But
I mean, yeah, if I actually sat down and watched them, I'm sure I would enjoy
being forced
them,
to watch
but-
anything as a kid, though, makes you dislike it more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, I guess with that, that's been our show. There we go.
Yeah.
The internet outage makes it a bit awkward, but hey, there you go. Whatever. More fun for editing for me, I guess. But yeah, as always, our links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on Twitter and see what we're doing in our personal lives and all that. And hey, if you want to just keep up to date with everything HGO, you can go and follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. And hey, if you want to listen to us instead of looking at our stupid faces, you can find us on podcast services everywhere. Just search for Hot Gamers Only, where you can find us on your favourite services such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. What are you smiling and shaking your head at?
Kyle is getting cracked by my
The
eccentric...
gestures Hunter does every week.
Yeah, the thing is he's seen the fucking like animation we have, so he does it for himself. He doesn't do it for anyone else.
Yeah.
He does it for himself. He knows that it's not going to be on screen.
Yeah.
So, but hey, there you go, I guess. But yeah, thank you for listening / watching this week. It's been an interesting one. We might have to go back to filler next week.
Oh man, yeah.
Truly tragic.
Possibly Kino
Heck
Bridges
yeah.
Spirits impressions.
We'll
The
see.
beach episode is next
The
week.
beach eps, the 3x3s finally come from the horizon. Once we pop, they won't stop. So let's hope that we don't have to bring them out yet. But no, thank you for listening / watching. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.